Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a high-level game of StarCraft 2. Whoa, Harstem. How did you acquire the funds to buy this beautiful replay between Hero and Cure? That must have cost you a fortune. Indeed it has, but don't worry, you guys will pay for it once I get my crypto rock pool going. So be sure to stay tuned to this channel for that. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll be releasing the Harstem coin somewhere over the next few months to fund my unhealthy, addictive replay buying habit that I have acquired over the years. Hero versus Cure. Now, many people look at this as the meeting of the minds. Some of the most brilliant Korean players that have walked this earth. However, they are very different players. Hero is someone that doesn't really care about really anything except looking cool, okay? Hero is the type of guy to wear a jacket with knives on the inside, as long as the jacket looks nice. Yes, it might hurt a little bit, but boy does he look cool. And he's the same in StarCraft, okay? He's not only ruggedly handsome, he also is a phenomenal gamer, but he does like it risky. So far we're starting without a scout, and look at this. This is going to be a 90 Nexus. Now I know all of you watching this are seasoned veterans of the StarCraft 2 scene, so I don't need to explain the difference between a 19 and a 20 Nexus. But in case there's someone new or you're watching with a dumb person, don't worry, I've got you covered. The 19 Nexus allows you to get your first unit out about 4 to 5 seconds quicker. It allows you to, basically that. That is it. That is the main advantage. You have a little bit less money because you have one less worker for a while. And this is often visible in the gas count as well, because you're not instantly fully saturating this gas, despite the gas actually being a little bit quicker. It's just economically it's slightly worse, but a faster first unit. So sometimes what you can do when you open like this, you can chrono boost a stalker, you can chrono boost an adept, and still run it across the map. Something that usually is only possible with Core before Nexus. It also is extremely strong against early proxy reapers. So if there's a barracks over here and you go for the 19 Nexus, you're freaking cooking. Could have just been a core first, except you already have a Nexus. So there's a couple of upsides, and then the main downside compared to a 20 Nexus is just that you have a little bit less money. But it's really a small amount that you have less, okay? As I didn't actually have the sound enabled. So if you were wondering if that was on your end, do not worry anymore. It was the Dutchman. Okay, battery further forward. So this is one of the things when I've been talking with other players that aren't Hero, no one really understands why he puts it over here. As in, we understand the reason why he believes it's good, but no one else agrees with the placement of this battery. Everyone else thinks it's significantly more harmful to you than it is useful. So a lot of people, they like having the battery a little bit further in the back, right? Because then it can function in two ways. It can function to hold your front against potential tank pushes, but also it can help deal with potential Banshee or Raven harass. If it's over here, or even like a Marine drop, right? Batteries are going to heal the probes, which is great if you're dealing with a single Banshee or with auto turret harass. This one is a little bit better potentially against tank pushes, but it's also a lot more vulnerable. So if you don't entirely know that it's coming, this one is actually worse. And a lot of the time we actually see it sniped before the fight even starts. And as a result, whenever I talk with other Protoss players, when we talk about the battery position in the natural, they much prefer having it further in the back. But Hero is one of the guys that freaking loves putting it further forward. He's very, how should I call it? Confident in his ability to keep it alive. He's confident in his ability of dealing with any threats that are going to hit the main base. And he's going to open up here with a 3-gate blink into charge, 4 gas robotics facility coming out as well. And this is starting to smell a lot like a Templar Archives. At least to me. Fast Templar Archives, fast feedbackers. These guys are extremely powerful. So this hallucination doesn't really seem to be too keen on figuring out what's happening on the other side of the map. A lot more keen on making sure that nothing weird happens on their own side of the map. I freaking love this build, by the way. Triple Hellion, 6 Marine, 1 Reaper in a medevac. So the plan here is very simple. And often good plans are very simple. You fly in to the main base, you trigger the Stalkers to go into the main, and then your Hellions run into the natural. This would work if it wasn't that Hero was so freaking smart. Has a sentry in the wall, so these 3 Hellions are going to be pretty useless. Stalkers will clear the medevac in the main. One of these Stalkers is going to end up falling. 2 workers also going down. Same time we see the natural is being attacked. Look at that. Beautiful zoom out there. Oh my god. Hire me as your observer. Good lord. Great framing there. 5 probes end up falling, which is a pretty significant deal. And rather than going into Templar Archives, which I thought it was going to be, we're actually running into a Robo Bay, which is something I hadn't expected. Now, the follow-up is going to be a Raven. We don't have batteries in the main base. Stalkers, don't forget, don't have blink, so they're not going to be out and about on the map, having a good old time. Colossus on the way, and I'm expecting blink to start relatively soon as like the kind of the final upgrade, like the finishing touch, so to say. Okay, we got our Colossus, we've got our thermal lens. It's probably going to add blink as well as a forge in the next few moments. That's kind of what I'm expecting. The Raven moves across the map. You have an observer going in here right now. No prism, which is something you might expect if there's charge slots out, but it's not at all what we're seeing. Okay, here comes the Raven. Single turret only available. Let's take a look at the response time here out of Hero. Single Stalker in the main base. Oh. The Raven plops down that the auto turret. It's gonna get maybe 2 worker kills. No, no target fire, just a single worker kill. Very fair indeed. Double observers on the other side of the map. CC goes down as well on the main base, and we're heading into what some would call a mid game. Now, Cure is a player that, if possible, likes to skip the mid game. Cure, he treats the mid game like how I treat cutscenes in video games. You hold down the escape button and hope that it's possible to skip it. Third CC comes up. Barracks 4 and 5 on the way. What are we doing over here? Second forge? Second forge. Okay, the count of 3. Okay. So this is something we don't see very frequently anymore. It's very rare to see second forge before fourth base. So Terran players, they don't mind being even in supply or even in eco. They hate being behind in eco. And Terrans love having just like an even size army pretty much. Third CC that goes down. They don't feel any pressure as long as there's no fort base. And the second forge is extremely expensive because you have a little bit of gas that goes in there. You have the 150 minerals. It delays your fort base by a decent amount, maybe 25, 30 seconds or so. Because you also still need the extra gateways afterwards. It's just, it doesn't feel right. It really doesn't feel right. It's rare to see these days. Hero is going to go do it though. Potentially because he knows that Cure is such a defensive player. So we actually see that he built his fort nexus before these extra gates, which is, it would be considered risky most of the time. Like he doesn't have a very large army. Does have blink right now. This is going to be a pretty, what should we call it? A passive game, eh? Pretty passive game. I wonder if you can get +2 attack out before Cure goes for his first push. That is something that I would be looking for. That's 4 kills here. That's a big deal. New turret comes in. He can actually plop down 2 turrets here. Look at that. Oi, oi, oi. Stalker goes down. Raven out of energy. Still has 6 kills though. That's a decent haul if you ask me. Zealot's positioned here in world's worst position. Can't really do anything from there on out. Nexus being taken on the gold. It's not a common location to take that Nexus. Let's take a look at the vision here that our good friend Hero has built for himself. This empire built on vision. One over here, so he sees this route. He has some vision on the right. Would love to see something here. It's rare to see him move out towards the far right, but maybe if Cure expects your fort base to be down here, you could walk like this, like put a little view, go up the ramp here, pretty much go unspotted until he arrives here. I guess then you still have plenty of time to respond. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but it's nicer to be in time, you know, to have a little bit of a heads up when a move out is indeed happening. Cure's entire game plan seems to be to not die. Like I said, if Cure can skip the mid game, he absolutely will. I would have expected Hero to go for some type of an attack. Hero is also one of the players that doesn't really see supply. You know, when people say like age is just a number, you're like, well, your hip is broken right now. Like, not sure if it has anything to do with your age, but you are 85, so maybe, you know, is an indicator of bone health at least. It's the same with supply. He looks at it and it's like, yeah, I'm down 20, 30. Let's see what we can do. And I do believe he wants to go, yeah. Like, well, he always wants to go, but he believes it's wise to go right now as well. I'm not so sure if that's the case. We have 3 ghosts out. We have a Raven that is still hanging over here. Viking count of 8, which is enough to deal with everything. A huge Zealot attack that can come from this bottom side. The hero knows exactly where he wants to move. This is a serious Zealot flank. Like, this is a flank with more supply than the main army is. I am just so darn curious how he's gonna move here. I am so curious. We still have the Prism as well. Prism speed has finished up. Gonna warp in 1 DT. Get into the main base. That's the plan. Okay, here we go. I wonder where the first trigger is gonna be pulled. Because that is important. Okay, here we go. Get a big scan. We have our main army. Where's the Prism? Where is the Prism? Hello? Oh, here we go. Flies into 2 turrets. Drops a single Zealot, which is obviously not going to be enough. Get another defensive scan. This went about as poor as it could have for hero. He's going to follow us up with a 7 DT warp in. As well as DT blink. It's over halfway done. I'm not sure if you can actually do something about all of this. Same time we have a rotation coming towards the top. That's a lot of units. That is something, you want to do something about this. You absolutely want to do something about that. CC is going to get cleared here. No cancel on that thing. Bunker's going to go down as well. Tank in the back is shooting actively. A couple of force fields are helping out. Here comes the jump onto this base, but without the blink. Ooh. Even without the blink, this base is going to be forced to lift. 6 SCVs end up falling. Don't forget that hero has the upgrade lead. This is the one thing that he really has got going for himself. Fast upgrades. So his plan is to be very active with many Zealots, with some DTs, get some decent trades going, and out-expand the opponent. We see no willingness whatsoever to tech into the future. None. Nada. Nientos. Nilch. He is just going for it. Oh, actually, and as I say that, he throws on triple Stargate. And +1 armor. Okay. So there is some... Ooh, and he kills his own Colossus. Now this I like. Okay, this is an underrated move. This actually is a very underrated move. Because look how much supply we have in Vikings right now. That's what, 24 supply in Vikings? There's going to be nothing to shoot at. And the moment Cure realizes that, he will get rid of his Vikings. And then the Stargate units are going to come out. I actually have a great story. I once played in a tournament called the Taiwanese Esports League, the TESL. And there was a game between Sase and Vanilla, a Terran versus a Protoss there, in which Sase ended up killing... Oh, hold that thought. This is a great story. I'll finish it later, but for now, let's take a look at what this army is going to do. Not a whole lot so far. Getting a kill on that CC is nice, I guess, but the 5th base has already been established. Don't forget, these are split armies, by the way. Right now, Cure is so secure that he is using... Like, he's defending the entire left side with a planetary and 25 army supply. And the rest of his army is in the middle. The rest of the army is in the middle. We have another rotation coming in towards the middle. Fleet Beacon goes down behind this. We're going to be on 4 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon. Here comes the big, fat push. Planetary in a world of trouble needs to lift. Does lift. Here comes the flank. We have a couple of EMPs ready as well. Snipes can go down onto the Zealots. I think the Vikings are now starting to realize they have nothing going on anymore in their life. Prism into the main. What a beautiful move. He pulled his opponent out of position. Goes in with absolutely everything. And starts blasting the production over here. That was really well done. Beautiful execution there. Hasn't really gotten any major damage yet. Would have loved to see 2 or 3 Zealots just try and clear the turrets for later on. I mean, I loved what he was trying to do. It just didn't really work out. Cure is dealing with all of this in a very kind of a measured manner. Very measured response. Yeah, what I was going to say about... Oh, do we have time? Hero is a little bit too active here. Here I am yapping and yapping. Hero is just attacking consistently. Do we still have another... No Prism in the back? Ooh, Zealots are going to walk into this funnel. Freaking funnel of death. For the tanks, apparently. So 1 tank is going to go down. 2nd tank falling a little bit lower. Do we have a new Prism that's going in somewhere? No is the answer. 4 carriers now coming out. 12 Vikings still alive. I am shocked to see Cure not wanting to land these quite yet. I actually am shocked by that. Gonna get an attack onto the high ground. Liberator showing up as well. Maybe we need a Barrow on the Vikings right here. I think this is landing time, no? Landing time. No? Maybe we can jump down here onto the tank at least. Yeah, there we go. Planetary taking a bit of a beating, but 3 DTs end up falling. Resource lost 7k to about 13k. As the next wave of carriers is on the way. I have a feeling that these carriers are going to have a good time. 8 carriers versus 12 Vikings. Even if all Vikings stay alive, they're going to have a good time. Liberators are okay against carriers, but not brilliant. Going to have another attack. Hero's playing such an attractive style of StarCraft. What the hell? He's basically leveraging his upgrade advantage that he initially has into like a tech surprise. That seems to be his plan. Like a 7-8 Viking or carrier transition. There's no second armory, by the way. If there was a second armory with vehicle plating, that would be great. Like, vehicle plating against carriers is just so freaking big. People really underestimate that, as these DTs are having the time of their lives, are gonna blink away. You get out of here. Zealots now start walking into Liberator zones. Probably not quite what you want. Okay, finally, let me tell you. Sase versus... Oh, no, my god, we just keep having freaking fights. I actually hate it when the games are too action-packed. Unbelievable. I feel like for the past 5 minutes, there hasn't been more than a 10-second break before one of the players makes a major move out. This base is actually going to end up going down. We have this move out happening. This is such a tiny army. It's like 6 Marauders just floating into cannons. You actually can't kill cannons very quickly with an army like this. There's just not enough stuff. Cure at some point is going to realize, by the way, that something is wrong. It's like, well, why do you have 5 Stalkers? Surely it's a bit small for an army, no? Not one to size shame. But it does look small. Okay, carriers are here. Carriers show their faces. You want to just run back ASAP right now. Is there a prison with this? If there's a prison with this, I think he can probably continue pushing further forward. Well, he has the pylons over here. Maybe he can just continue pushing forward either way. Clear 6 of the Vikings before the fight starts. And the main thing you want with carriers is getting the interceptors out. At the same time, though, we have a counterattack over here. Really neat play, honestly, out of Cure. Hero is gonna send it as a result. He says, hey, I do not think I can go home to defend against these split drops. I honestly believe him to be correct. I do not believe that he can go home against these split drops either. It's just not gonna be possible. Interceptors are out. If you're fighting into 12 carriers with +2 attack that have their interceptors out, there is 0 chance you're gonna win that fight. Mothership shows up as well. Like, once the scepters are out, the party has ended for you, let me tell you. It's not a fun time. It is not a fun time. Vikings rallying into the Mothership carrier set. This army is still alive, but isn't doing a whole lot of anything. We get a big warp in at home defensively. So orbitals are falling at a rapid pace. 6 Vikings being produced at a time. So it's going to go up to potentially, what, 16, 17 Vikings? A couple of EMPs in the mix as well. Yeah. And once again, interceptors are coming out. Liberators on siege, wanting to deal with the interceptors. Not really working out, though. Vikings, good target fire. We have 8 Vikings against 7 carriers. We have 4 Vikings against 6 carriers. The way the numbers are going, I'm not loving it here for Cure. 5 carriers remain. No anti-air anymore here, as Cure is gonna get completely blasted, and Hero will win the series. And the Sase versus Vanilla game, now that we're here anyway, Sase killed... he showed 6 Colossus, except his opponent never realized there were Colossus. Then Sase killed his own Colossi, but there were no Vikings already. It wasn't a very long story. It wasn't even that funny, but I thought it was funny because it was killing Colossus with no purpose. All right, that will be it for me today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to buy Harstem coin, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye-bye.